Mel, are you up to date with this Anthony Edwards story?
I've seen the shit in the blogs. I read the text messages. Oof, boy.
This is Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Aisha, Lil Baby's oldest baby moms. I think she's, I want to say, 38.
38. Mm-hmm.
And Anthony Edwards is 23.
23.
And she had a baby.
Yes, I gathered that from the text message.
And it's his.
And it looks like he wants nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
he didn't want nothing to do with it.
He told her he didn't want nothing to
jump.
do with it. Mm-hmm. I thought that this was deja vu because of the last story that came out where he told
Just
the
send
girl.
me the pictures.
Send the video.
Yo, just send the video.
Yo, the video.
Yo, 150, whatever. Yo, send the video.
So now Aisha has replied to the backlash that she received over the text messages being released. Because I guess a lot of people were on her head saying, well, you had a baby with a 23-year-old. He told you that he wanted nothing to do with the baby, and you went ahead and had it anyway. So, good for you. Let me find her response. She says, and I quote, "You have all become so numb, ungrateful, and disrespectful of the ability to reproduce and give life that abortion has become desensitized. You are so accustomed to seeing, hearing, and being raised by women who had to be the village after abandonment that society has normalized cowardly behavior. Now the blame is placed on the woman, on innocent babies, while the man is continuously protected. It's not your fault, sis. It's your body, your choice, and your voice still matters. Although you may have seen your mother, aunts, or grandmothers handle this on their own, they were never supposed to, and neither are you. To the men who have lacked and continue to lack male representation, influence, and accountability, being a man doesn't start and stop with an erection. Being a father is not optional after bypassing the preventative measures available to you beforehand. Don't become what your fathers were to your mothers. Conceiving takes two. In that moment, both male and female have choices that determine the outcome of tomorrow. It's everyone's responsibility to make choices they can live with." She goes on to say, "I'm happy with mine. My daughter is a gift, yada, yada, yada." Mm-hmm. Distinguished panel.
She's right.
She's absolutely right. She is. I mean, a lot of people can look at that, before she says that and ask, why would you have a baby with a man who doesn't want to have a baby with you? But that is not the question to be asked. I mean, it's a logical question, but that's not the question. Exactly everything that she stated is what the point is, And also, if he's already found himself in this predicament more than once, then maybe he should be a little bit more responsible so that he doesn't wind up in this position every single time. We talk a lot about how men like him are targets, but if you don't take the moving target off of your back with your own behavior, like you don't get to kind of like throw the responsibility off of your shoulders. It still is there. And I think that she's absolutely right. I think the question is always posed on the woman. The burden is always placed at her feet rather than asking the guy, why don't you just strap up? Why don't you get a vasectomy? They're reversible. Why don't you do something to be a little proactive about winding up in situations like this that wind up being stressful and then spilled all over the blogs for us to know all your fucking personal business?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't agree with a lot of that.
Go ahead, you can go first.
Go, you go.
First, she said, first of all, we didn't have to know none of this.
We didn't.
That's for starters. You put this information out there. So, yeah, people are going to comment. That's one. Two, he doesn't, not saying right or wrong, and y'all know how I feel about parenthood, but he can literally walk away and just pay for it. He can be on the hook for whatever the state say he got to pay, and he might be fine with that. It's why the question of why is it always the woman is because y'all the ones that have to actually carry the child. Mm-hmm. Y'all the ones that have to actually go through the birthing process. Men he could have 5 other girls pregnant all at the exact same time right now. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not saying none of this is correct. I'm just saying it is easier for if he wants to be a piece of shit and walk away and not deal with it, he can do it. Now, I think she's asking why is society okay with that? And that's a whole bigger.
But that's what I'm addressing is that she's acknowledging the societal issue. That's number one. And number two, there's a woman who would end up in this situation and be like, I am definitely not having your fucking child. I don't know you. You don't know me. That's gross, whatever. But then there's other people who that offends everything about their sensibilities, their morals, etc. And so if they feel like life needs to be protected, and regardless of how it happened, like there's people who have been, sexually assaulted who keep the baby because of their views on abortion.
Yes, I agree.
So the fact of the matter is we don't know why she's making the choice, and it's her choice to make.
Absolutely.
But she's also highlighting the fact that this is not this is extraordinarily common, and the response is what's common, and the response is what needs to be, the thought process around it needs to be reframed.
See, I differ.
Let me just please
When you
one
finish
second.
and then yeah.
We saw this play out with him before, publicly.
So did she.
Now, so she saw that.
I
so
agree.
my thing is, why are you even fucking this dude that moves that way? That's why. That's
Both
why
things
people
need to be acknowledged.
and that's why people are coming at her. Okay, you know this is how he moves. We've seen it. You still fucked him, got pregnant, and he did it again.
He just had a documentary where he has a family and a girlfriend and all of these other things.
So he doesn't have any respect for his family and his girlfriend to stop sleeping with other women unprotected?
So she didn't have respect for his family and her femininity.
Here's what I got to say about this. Excuse me. First and foremost, we're missing the point that he's 23, she's 38.
Exactly. That's a huge point.
We don't want to acknowledge that. Sometimes when a woman reaches a certain age, if she gets pregnant, she wants to keep the baby because she doesn't know if she's going to get pregnant again.
That's true.
That's the mind frame that they go through. But we have to acknowledge that he's 23, she's 38. He has a pattern of this, and she should know better. Meaning, like, she should have made the decision to either not sleep with this young man or make sure he wraps it up. What do you expect a 23-year-old who's just getting all this money to say? Especially if he shows a pattern of not wanting children. Now you become complicit because you think in your mind, either I can change him or I'm looking for a come up.
And that's what a lot of people tend to think.
And that's what a lot of people, we've seen this story before with this same individual. It's not like you caught him out of nowhere, we don't know it. We've seen this pattern. And if you see a pattern and you become part of a pattern, you're complicit in the pattern.
So to your point, when you're saying that, my thing, and because I agree with a lot of what the lady said.
Me too.
My thing be this: why is the onus on the man to be the person for protecting? I think the responsibility should fall on both parties.
But that's what she's
saying.
She's saying the onus really, she's responding to the criticism largely being placed at her feet and saying, you guys, nobody ever puts the onus on the guy.
And I said, I agree with that.
Right.
But when you started to speak, you said, yo, the dudes are having unprotected sex. No, the parties are having unprotected sex.
No, I know that.
So in that, the same way she could say, yo, fuck you. You had a baby with me unprotected. He can say, not saying that it's right, to Aisha's point, he could say, fuck you. Yeah, but I told you I didn't want to have a baby, so I don't want nothing to do with it. And the only thing it does is leave another fatherless child in the streets.
Right.
So she's really not speaking to the societal issues, because when you laid down with that dude and decided to have unprotected sex with that dude, y'all both knew the potential consequences. But I think in her 38-year-old brain, she also knew that they were never going to be a family and they never were going to be in a relationship.
I don't know what.
So you are lending to the societal detriment of fatherless kids.
I have no idea what she was thinking when she got involved with him. I have no idea what he was thinking when he was getting involved with her. I really don't know. But by using her age against her, she's this age and he's that age, we can look at which Jalen is it that's with Drea? He seems to be very happy with her. He posts her all day long. Like, they look like they're in a very involved relationship. So I don't think that the age factor really actually plays a role here, because it's not just that he's 23. He has a girlfriend and he has a family. Yeah. So he's mature enough to have created the family with the girl of his choice, but he's still outside screwing other women unprotected.
Wait, who are you talking about right now? Oh, you talking about Anthony Edwards?
I'm just going based
She
off
used
what he
Drea
what
as
he
a
just
reference
what he
point
just said
to-
about
Can
him
Can I ask you
having a
question?
family.
Mel, if
I
it was,
just want to correct. It doesn't take maturity to
At all.
come in somebody.
Zero.
I
It don't take
know.
maturity.
But trust me, I know.
But hold
Yeah.
on. But if it was the other way around,
I was gonna say that.
we blame the men.
I was gonna say that.
You know,
Would the woman have been enough
Yeah.
mature at 20 years old, fresh
deal with a 30
fresh out of college, to be dealing with a 38-year-old man? We wouldn't look at it like she was mature enough to be making all these responsible decisions. The word grooming would start floating around.
yeah, double
And once you
standard.
factor in how they say that women mature faster than men and all of that, so she ain't even 38. She's way older than that.
And he in the mind of an
he's in his-
18-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's even bigger gap.
I want to take the time to shout out the women out there that be like, listen, if I come to my man and say I'm pregnant, I want him to be just as ecstatic as I am.
Word.
And if I don't get that response, then it's a sign and I'm going to go ahead and, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
Yes!
Those are the ones. Those are the ones.
You fucking
Fetus deleted.
Jackpot. Magically delicious.
Fetus deletus is nuts.
Did you just say
Ignorant
fetus
niggas just said
deletus?
Fetus deletus.
Yes! I mean, oh.
Those are the ones that walk straight past the niggas in front of the clinic. They walk straight, nigga, like they in the army.
I gotta shout them out. Hey, was written all over my face.
Yeah.
I have to say,
she don't let them stop her. When they try to hug her in the beginning, bitch, if you don't get the fuck out my way, let me get inside.
They don't want it.
Some girl tweeted yesterday. She was like, he'd have been calling me. I done already argued with the white people out front. I'm inside. Nigga, where you at?
Yo,
Meet me or beat me here.
They apply pressure, the white people, but we talk about the ones that get past them.
Yeah, that's what she
The
said.
ones that
She
get right
got
past them.
Determined. They determined.
Yeah, they determined to go inside.
Motherfuckers
They
like
determined to go inside.
Motherfuckers like the jackal. They gonna get their mission done.
I just feel like the double standards play a role in this.
Yeah, it
Joe.
does.
Like,
and that's
it's
the thing. Like, I
need
can
to
see.
grow up.
I totally understand, and I think that the lady has a ton of valid points.
She does.
She does.
She does.
Right. So, but I also think that a lot of that blame is on her as well. I think that it's a two-party thing. I don't think that it's just him being wrong or her being wrong. It's both of them. But when you put your shit out on Front Street to the public,
People gonna
then the
judge.
criticism is going to be.
Yeah, that's my take on that. I do think it's both of them.
Neutral button.